Architectural Builder Supply is pleased to present you with this recording of the technical question that is listed in the title of this video.
This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.
And I'm wondering, how do I find what the original correct installation was supposed to be? You know, like if you get an LCN, they're going to have the template that says, or the measurement saying this far from the center of the hinge pan. You put the bracket and the closer. And so how do we find ground zero with these?
So that I understand, why would you need that if you're removing and replacing?
I need to know where the arm will fit to the frame and where the closer should fit to the door in relation to the pivot point. Because,
are you suspect of the original location?
Yeah, they're all different. I'm looking at them and nothing's consistent.
Mm-hmm. So two things. We may have archival information regarding that, and it's very likely that we do not.
Okay.
Number two, the reason that things are put in different locations would be either error, but that template would say, here's where I need you to put that thing based on your degree of opening and based on your mounting method. So
right.
It could be one of the two of those sub-reasons.
Right. I do have at least 4 sets, pairs of doors, and the right and the left don't necessarily match. So I'm thinking that over the 90 years, who knows what it started. Like how do I know? Do I pick the left one or the right one?
Yeah, I can tell you that the first image of the Sargent looks odd in terms of the placement of the arm shoe onto the header.
Right.
That looks out of line. Yeah, all 3 of those Sargent images. Because that arm shoe should be basically perpendicular to the face of the door, and your LCN picture looks a lot better in terms of that, it being perpendicular. Not exactly perpendicular, but slightly, because if it was completely perpendicular, the spring would not be able to draw that door close enough closed.
Okay.
But,
Right, but the location of the foot will change angle of the arm, too. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, and the degree and the dimension from the vertical axis of pivoting to the center line of the body also is directly related to the potential degree of opening.
Right. I put on a lot of modern closers, but I guess I just don't know how to. Basically, there's no use sending a closer to you if the mounting and everything's wrong for you to rebuild it. I mean, yeah, I'll get a closer that's rebuilt, but it still might not function to what it should or what I expect it should, because it's a geometry issue.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I do. Yeah, you'll have to decide whether or not you're going to eyeball it, because our library does not include a lot of 90-year-old catalogs. While we might have some cell information, we may not have technical information like a template or a parts drawing.
Even cell. I mean, if there's a picture, a guy could try to copy what it looks like in the picture, to get in the ballpark.
Yeah. Do any of the units?
Position of the arm.
Does the LCN unit not operate correctly because of the location of the closer?
I worked on some other doors, another pair of doors this morning, and the closers are totally in different places there too. And my next question is going to be, is there a left-hand and a right-hand barrel closers? Because they actually seem like when they're open and they start closing, they're at the slow sweep, and then they speed up as they close. So has someone switch left and right, or instead of slowing down for your latch, they're speeding up.
Yeah. Yeah. You've got the handing has to be declared at the time. The method of mounting has to be declared. Is it regular arm or parallel arm? And is it hung on a corner bracket or a jam bracket? We have to know all of those things because its reassembly has to be done correctly.
Okay, so it is true that I have two LCNs that are switched around then. Somebody, because there's a mix match, there's screws, there's like they've been touched a bunch of times, and the mounts were loose. So would it be fair to say that those probably were switched because of how they're functioning?
No, it wouldn't be. If you've got the wrong hand, the thing's not going to, you'll get it to like 10-degree open, and it's not going to really cooperate.
Okay. Now there's spring adjustment too. There's a little dog that goes into different notches. How does a guy know what the new LCNs, they come preset, and then you crank the spring tighter if you need it to be on a bigger door, heavier door, whatever. How do you know, or when you set them up, how do you set them up? Or is that something the user does when they install them?
No to the latter. Both of those closers are specific model numbers. That specific model number is tied to a size.
Okay. So what's the notches on the top?
I don't know exactly, but I'm thinking it might have to do with positioning of the arm as it relates to the different ways in which the unit can be mounted.
Okay. So here again, how would I find that information out? For example, one of the LCN ones this morning was there wasn't enough spring tension to really close it. So is that a length of arm, or is that a position arm correction that needs to happen? And then if it doesn't correct when it should correct by following that sequence, then I know that it's something that needs to be addressed, like to send it to you to get it, make sure everything's, up to what it should be. You know what I mean?
It may be neither is the answer. The closer might just no longer be operating correctly. The arm and its geometry may all be accurate. It doesn't have to be someone over the decades, moving screw locations. I mean, that sergeant
right.
Clearly,
But if I knew the
been...
arm, I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
No, not at all. You can see that there's evidence that arm's been moved on the sergeant. So, but the answer to the question is, I don't know if we have any reference documentation. It's very possible that we simply don't. I don't know anyone alive who was installing these when they were made. I don't know if that LCN's from the 30s though.
No, I've been told that the LCNs are from the 40s, early 40s. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, that's just one of the employees said that. So I think the originals were the sergeants, and they've been replaced. There are some in a boneyard down in the basement of the old sergeants that would, it is a historical building that has charm, and we'd love to get those back on the doors. So that I'm just assessing where I'm at. My thought process was, if I knew where the correct positioning, then I could mount it there. If it doesn't work right, then I know I need to send it in. If it does work right, then I know that one's still okay for the time being. You know what I mean? So
yes,
that's how I was logically trying to sequence, what I'm actually dealing with. And So without getting to that original base point, yeah, any information, any advertisements, anything that might even have a picture. We don't have any corner brackets, but we've got them mounted on the hinge side and we've got them mounted on the non-hinge side. The hinge side, they're mounted directly to the door jamb above, and when they're mounted on the non-hinge side, then there's like a parallel arm sort of bracket, if that makes any sense. And I don't even know if that's correct.
You have, both of your closers are what we would call regular arm. And the images that I see. Now, if you have an installation where the body is on the opposite side of the door, that's where a parallel arm would come into play. Or, I know you don't have them, but a jam bracket, a jam bracket would come into play.
Okay. Okay. So do you have anything as far as information for, I mean, maybe some of the other brands, the mounting and, the arm position and all that was similar. I don't know. I'm just wondering how I can get sort of a base point. I think your price is fair. The work you do and what I've seen in the pictures, there's no doubt that you can fix a closer that has a problem. And I'd be glad to engage you in those. But, yeah, like the ones I worked on today, the doors are like Swiss cheese. There's 20 holes where screws were in the door. No one, glued it down and remounted in the same place. They just moved them. And so that's I guess, my challenge. And that's why I called, because I didn't know how to explain that.
Yeah, no, I understand. Having a baseline is where you'll start. I'm going to contact the shop, and I'm going to ask if there's any sales data, any parts diagrams, or any templates or installation instructions, I should say, with the template available. And if yes, ask that they send that to me. I have thousands and thousands of pages of catalogs from the 19th century and the first half of the 20th century in our site. I have no problem sharing any of that stuff. If you want to take a real trip down memory lane, in my site, go to the Sargent page or go to the Corbin page, go to the Russell and Irwin page, go to the Yale page. You'll see catalogs that when I say that Chester Allen Arthur was president, yeah, I have catalogs that old.
Wow. So I need to look at your website then better, because is this something that I can look for?
Yeah. So, like in the website, some of my favorite ones, just type it, well, when you get to the website, type Yale in the search box, and then from there, you'll be able to get to the manufacturer's page, basically, and then you'll see Yale catalogs from, really. Who was the president in 1880? Don't tell me. Garfield, literally from when Garfield was president. So, the really cool stuff is what I'm driving at.
Right. So I typed in Yale, and I'm just getting a bunch of Yale items.
No, you're good. On the right side, click Buy Now of any of those items.
No.
I'll get you there. Just click Buy Now.
Okay.
Now, in that same area, you see Add to Cart. Below it, the map of the United States. To the left, click More from Yale.
Oh, I see. Next to it. Okay.
Now, when that page loads, look at the stack on the left side.
Yeah.
You've got lots of cool catalogs there, really old. And I got them for Corbin.
Awesome.
I got them for all kinds of people, for Sargent, for Russell and Irwin, for P.F. Corbin. Schlag's only 100 years old, so I don't have anything older than probably the mid-century.
Okay. So I'm just curious. I'm typing in Sargent.
and then repeat the same steps to get to the manufacturer's
Right.
page.
More from Sargent. Product catalog starting in 1877.
Yeah, yeah.
So our building was built, I think it was finished in 28 or 9. So like I just go to the 27 catalog and look at it, basically?
I would definitely take a look. I don't know how, as you had said earlier, anything, give me anything. So you're definitely in the give me anything area, and you will certainly find, stuff that
I'll find something.
You'll find something that will be enlightening to a certain degree. The
Okay.
problem with, now check this out, same steps for LCN. I actually have a patent from 1930 of a potbelly closer, a patent drawing. Won't help much, but, but I don't have any, my library is weak when it comes to old LCN, unfortunately, but I have 10 feet of catalogs to scan, and I've got one person who does it, and we scan them and upload them.
Nice. This is awesome. This is really awesome. So,
Yeah, I actually have a LCN potbelly here in my collection. It's when Schlegel bought LCN. You know what? Let me look and see. Is it actually a potbelly? No, it's not. Damn it! It's not. I was thinking I had a template right there. It's not.
Oh, no.
I got a.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a LCN closer from 1958, but it's not a potbelly.
Okay. Yeah, so I definitely have more LCNs than I have the Sargents, but the Sargents are more impressive for the entry to a big auditorium, right?
You would like the Russell and Irwins because those were giant bodies.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'll have to look them up. I love stuff like this. Thanks for having the patience with me and pointing me in this direction. So.
You bet.
Okay, so I will swim around. I didn't see any closers in the Sargent catalog. I just saw a bunch of knobs and stuff. But I'll look through here, and if you do have a chance to, see if you have anything that would be helpful, I'd really appreciate that, and that'll help me formulate more what we're going to do as far as trying to resurrect some Sargents, maybe, or what, and then make sure they're mounted right and see which ones need to be rebuilt. So we don't have any leaking that I know of, but some closers kind of seem like they're low on oil. Is like they swing pretty free to begin with, and then it starts dampening. Is that the correct assessment for that?
Yeah, I mean, some problem with control on the inside, whether it be a valve or whatever the raceway, or fluid that would flow through all of that. Yes, it could just be worn, worn parts, but the fluid is not being restricted the way that it needs to.
Right.
To give you,
up
safe
to
operation.
A certain point in the swing, and then it seemed to catch. So, and that's something that would be resolved in the rebuild, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, keep in mind you're dealing with technology that is decades before the passage of ADA, so none of these closers are going to work, that would be compliant with, the federal law regarding Americans with disabilities. So they're always going to be a spring, they're always going to be exceeding the amount of permissible pounds of force.
Okay, I did find the Sargents. Door closer number 520.
Yeah, I opened up the 1926 catalog, but yeah.
It's for screen doors, though. This one. Yeah, anyway, very interesting. I appreciate your help. I know you have lots of other things you should be doing besides talking to this old gray-haired guy. So thank you so much. And
You're welcome.
I don't know how fast I'm going to move on this, like I said, because I have other campuses, but this is really something that we do want to get squared away because it affects the life of the doors as well. So
it does. The jambs, the hinges, the walls, everything.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So that's my goal. Okay. So thank you, Richard.
I'll do my research and I'll communicate back to you.
Awesome. Have a great day. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Architectural Builders Supply hopes you have enjoyed this program. Again, thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up, please subscribe, and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.